Hi guys, welcome to another What I Call Talk Show. I'm Fay Louise.
And I'm JossieEndel.
And this is our bloody show. Welcome back. How's everyone been doing? How are you, Jocelyn?
I'm all right. Yeah, I've stepped into this week quite positive. It's a new week. You've just got to take it day by day. I was talking to someone about that, like that's how we just have to do it. Not day by day, sorry, week by week, because things are changing every week, which we're going to get to in a bit about how much things have changed since our last show. But yeah, wow. All in all, I'm feeling good, feeling positive, but I do want it to be over when it's safe, but I do want it to be over. Like, I'm bored of it now. Are you bored of it?
You've seen it now. Like, I've seen the people going out now. Like, today the streets were busier. Like, I just don't think people are really understanding what this means. Like, go slow, be responsible. You know, people are just not really understanding the rules have been eased, like, the tiniest bit. But the parks are busier. People are going back on, like, it's just a bit of a mess. What have you seen out there, Joss?
Well, one thing, I'm not going to say it shocked us, but one thing which I kind of thought was a bit, that's a bit like, it just didn't sit comfortably, was children. So the primary schools, the children are like in squares on playtime to keep the distance in. They can't really play with each other. And it just looks so horrible, like just seeing all these children, like, well, not all, there's only 15, because that's how much the class sizes can be. Just these children, just like with these little boxes like around them, and it was sad.
Well, what are the new rules though? I mean, it was go outside, no, don't go outside. You can ride a bike, can't ride a bike, go to work, don't go to work. What the fuck am I doing? Like, I was literally sat there going like, I'm just gonna stay put. That is literally what I thought when I watched it. I was like, I'm just gonna stay put. I'm not gonna do anything differently. Everything will come back to normal eventually. Did you feel that way, or did you think, things are a bit changed now, I can do some more stuff? What were you thinking?
Well, I think it is a little bit too much too soon, because my worry is that we can get all these restrictions lifted, we'll get a little bit more of normal life back, but then the virus will just raise again, and then we'll be forced into a more stricter lockdown, more enforced than the one that we've just had. And it's like, when will this ever end? Because I want to get to stage 3. It's going in stages. Stage 3 is when you can start to think, yeah, real life is just around the corner, but everybody's life is on hold. And it's on hold with uncertainty now, whereas at least when we were in the lockdown, we were just in lockdown. It was on hold, but we were locked down. Now
I understand that, but it is like, I don't know how everyone else is feeling, but what I've noticed, like, it isn't just around the corner. Like, we need to understand that we're going to have birthdays indoors this year. There's not going to be any festivals. Cinemas probably won't open. Like, things are never going to just go from like 1, 2, 3 back to normal. Like, that's just not what this is. And I feel like these people aren't understanding and are going out. I walked past the other day cars. You could see people were getting ready to go for like picnics or go to the beach. And I was just kind of like, like, what are you thinking? Because as much as that's like, it is a bit selfish, but it's not really selfish for us, because like, we can, if you're staying away from people, you're going to stay away from people, but it's like selfish to them and their family and the loved ones they're going to go back to. I even saw on the news today that you can now get in the car with others. Like,
no, with the window open.
With the window open.
It just makes no sense. It makes no sense. I think you're right, though. I think the best thing to do is just kind of continue as we've been going on, because I certainly don't want to get ill, and I know you don't want to get ill. So
not at all. Well, we've got some really exciting news. Obviously, Club Kids I think they're thinking about doing live stream shows, like big divas on stages. And if anybody's been watching Dead to Me on Netflix, I've just completed both series. It is amazing. It is actually, I was hooked. So it's definitely one to watch.
But I haven't seen it. What's it about?
So it's kind of about murder and who did this and she did that and he did this, and just loads of people did different things, and then it ends up where the people you would never expect become best friends in the end. But then the cliffhanger at the end, I'm not going to spoil it, is like a cliffhanger.
Ooh, I might
It's
have to
so
watch it.
It's
I'll
so
add it
so
to the
good.
list.
Have you seen the latest figures?
Yes, so there's 494 people have died in the UK today. That is the figures, which now brings the total up to 33,186. So we're past, we're going to go to 40. It's going to
Do you
be
not think
around
we're
that.
going to
It's going to be
exceed, or do you not think we're going to exceed and we're going to probably go to 50, 60, 70?
I hope not. You know what I mean? I really just hope not. So I suppose it's maybe the hippie in me is kind of like putting it into the universe that it's not going to get that bad. Like, it's been bad, but you know, enough's enough. We just all want to get back to regular life and live again, because it's not really living, is it?
No, it's really, really, really becoming an issue, really. I just want I want to get back to normality, but I am enjoying TV. I will say that. Like the new Kim K show, where she
Oh my
goes
God,
and
that was fantastic.
she tries to like rectify and save people from being on death row for like years. Oh my God, it is like watching a weird reality show, but with Kim Kardashian being a normal human being. It's
I know,
mad.
because she is training. She is training to be a lawyer, but it's in her family. So her dad was involved in the O.J. Simpson case. So it's,
Right.
oh yeah, like Kris Jenner was best friends like with the wife, I think, and like they were just yeah.
There's,
Bear in
there's,
mind
de-
this is
there's
like years
definitely
before
there's
the product.
definitely more than meets the eye, because I think this is the direction she's going to go into. And I think she wants to do like reality shows like that with a bit more
Hmm.
power and a bit more authority, rather than the Kardashians. Do you know what I mean? We have got a great guest coming on. We have Ryan Leslie, aka Dandy, will be joining us in a couple of moments. A performer of many sorts, I will say. Would you agree,
Yeah.
Jocelyn?
Oh yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to meeting Daddy.
And what has
Yeah.
everybody else been up to? Hi, Samantha. Yeah, we're really good. The show is called Dead to Me. It's really interesting. But how is everybody else doing? We want to hear from you guys before we bring our guest on. Are you guys okay? What are you guys been doing to keep yourselves safe? And of course, what have you guys been watching? Because I'm always looking for new binge-worthy shows. Jossie has
Yeah,
the
me
whole thing going on, so I get to stay at home.
too.
What else has been going on? I heard you were called a couple of names for, as we've just seen at the start of our show. Be kind, hashtag be kind seems to have gone out the window.
Yeah, so I was in this group on Facebook. It was like feminists with trans people in there, and there was just this picture of a trans woman, and the things that they were saying about her were really bad. Like, it's a man, he, and it was just unnecessary. It was unnecessary. So I just put the picture of, in a world where you can be anything, be kind. I got called a troll. I got told that fuck, be kind, be cruel, and I was just like, no, like how can I be a troll? Like, but then I thought, well, if I am a troll, aren't trolls like lovely magical things? Like, I'm sure I
Mystical
wished upon a troll
animals?
when I was
Mystical
7.
animals?
Yeah, well, I'm sure I wished upon a troll when I was 7 to be a woman.
Well, that
Did it
didn't,
work?
that didn't work, did it, darling? Did it? That didn't work.
Did it work though?
Who knows? No, but for
Yeah.
everyone watching, what have you all been up to? Because as much as it's all giggles, it's a bloody hard time, and depression and mental health and everything is just so heightened. And that's the main reason we do this show, to keep our minds active rather than our bodies, because I am showing that so much. Just as okay, she's a skinny mini. But I can't wait to get back in the gym. I can't wait to get back on it. I must admit, I am raring to go.
I know. Well, I think the thing is, before this lockdown happened, me and Faye had started to go back to classes, and we'd started all this stuff literally the week before it all
I
happened.
know.
You could not make it up. Us
Well,
two, yeah, we're
Dandy
moving the
has just
world.
arrived in my box, which I'm very excited about. So I'm going to bring Dandy on in a few seconds and just watch him get ready, I think. And I'll be bringing him on in 5, 4. Oh, it's a countdown for a rocket, but it's nothing like a rocket. Here we go, guys. Bring it on, Dandy. Welcome to the show, Dandy.
Oh, hello, ladies. Hello, darlings. There we are. I'm ready to come to the interview. I've got my bag packed. The carriage is waiting outside. Now I just need more details on how I'm getting to the studio.
Oh, did you not get our telegram? It's actually going to be transferred by pigeon to pigeon, the connection, so we can have it from my house to your house.
Oh, it's a courier interview. Oh.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Yes. Now that you mention it, yes. That did come across. Well, I was ready for a flight. Or whatever you had, steamboat is fine. But I was
Steamboat. Well, welcome to our show. How are you?
Oh, I was in a tizzy. I've gotten all packed up. And I thought I was traveling over there.
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you. I feel like we're going to have to fly you over eventually then.
I believe so. Well, I'm ready. I'll stay ready.
Stay ready, be ready.
Stay ready.
Have to get ready. Well, we want to dive straight into our little chat with you and get to know you a little bit better. We definitely want to know, when was Dandy born?
Well, Dandy was born in a photo shoot. Quite literally. But do you mean time?
Yes, I suppose time and why, and also
how much time have you got?
Obviously, you said it was born from a photo shoot. So was it just a photo shoot for one of your YouTube or one of your other shows, and did it just come to life like that?
Yes, darling, yes, precisely. I suppose quite literally, Dandy, was born sometime in the 15th century, but who can remember? I've been drunk for the last...
Very, very good, I must say. That's very good for almost 400. What is your secret?
Lead-based makeup.
Right.
We'll have to get them tonight. Yeah. I will be trying that tonight.
Yes, but I had done a photo shoot for one of these Enemies of Dorothy videos.
Mm-hmm.
The Enemies of Dorothy is a specifically queer sketch comedy group. And, well, we just wanted to do something funny. And so, you know, we made costumes, we got the wig, did some makeup. Makeup's come a long way since the many years ago.
I can imagine.
That's 400 years of practice.
But I do lots of practice to look this good. However, yes, and then I've good friends that run a cabaret here in Hollywood. At 3 Clubs is a lovely spot. Nice stage. Large array of alcohols and liquors. The little barmaid comes right to the table. You see, oh, it's lovely. And they said, you know, darling, I did a mashup, Rocky Horror, with Hedwig and the Angry Inch. And so a little cabaret, just a little toss-up of those. And they said, well, you could come on to our cabaret. We have an act for our carnival. You know, we have a host and such and such and such. And I said, well, I haven't an act, but I've got this costume. Look at it. And, you know, he sprung onto the stage and, you know, it was just such a delight and a success. And now I am a co-host for the cabaret, worked my way up, and yet the rest is history. I suppose.
Well, it sounds very interesting. It does.
Yeah. On the subject of history, we are living through history right now, but how is Dandy spending quarantine?
Well, I was looking for a nice vacation. I thought they were easing up having restrictions. I thought I was coming there. That was my plan. But, you know, they say social distancing is the must. And while I have much room on the grounds here, darlings, there's a very vast mansion that I live in. I've taken to the wiggery, and so I've been trapped up there at the top floor where I keep all the wigs, you know, and I've been there for, what is it, 55 days now, darling.
God.
We have many servants, and I've sent all the non-essentials off, you know. We have to get rid of all the non-essential stuff. But I kept the essential. Yes. You what, darling?
We did the same.
You did the same.
I know. That's one or two.
It's horrible, isn't it? I mean, you don't know what you can live without. You know,
well,
you have to try.
That is a great question. What are you missing?
Well, the still room maid and the storeroom maid have gone. The chambermaid, she's stayed on, non-essential. I used to get weekly trips from the apothecary, and I was bedding the apothecary's son, but they're not doing, so it's very good trips, you know, for your health. And so, you know, they're non-essential, so they're off. The valet's on. The valet has stayed. Our butler, essential. The doctor, essential. Let's see, who else do we have? We've got the dairymaid. Dairymaid's essential. The wine room maid has pissed off. She's still on. She's drunk with wine. So she's pissed. But no, what do we have? We have the pet groomer. Pet groomer is on. Essential. The pets are non-essential. We've let the pets. The pets have gone. Head a distance. The houseboy. Essential. He's essential. So, you know, really, I mean, I don't know. They told me they released the rest of them, but we have a whole array of background there that I'm missing truly, dearly. A lot of them are great. Chesapeake. I've not seen Chesapeake since the start of this. Beth's her sister. She's here. What have we got? We've got Charity. Charity's off. Vanity. Well, Vanity's stuck around. I don't know what Vanity does. I've seen her polish some glass. But essentially, yes. Essentially, everything's very essential.
Well, that is the main thing.
I don't know what half of them do.
So we know that you are a comedy genius, but where do you get your inspiration for your comedy?
I think life in general is that. Life in general is pretty bleak, isn't it?
Pretty bleak.
Yes, and I think like most people drawn to comedy, just going through hardships, heartbreak, you know, mummy and daddy. Therapy. Yeah. Oh, yes, a therapist, non-essential, you think. In a time like this.
Very essential, very essential.
Very essential. So going through therapy, a lot of stuff comes up, and I just say, all right, hold on, I'm going to write this down. We both have our notepads, and while we talk to one another, just jot down. Oh, that was good. I think hardship, I think the darkness. There's certainly a lot of darkness. It's where comedy does come from. But I suppose as a young boy back in the 13th century, wasn't.
I'm sure you can dig deep.
No, I grew up watching fun sketch shows. You know, I'm actually originally from Canada. You can tell from my accent.
Of course, very broad Canadian accent. And
you know, we had Kids in the Hall, Second City Television, but you know, Saturday Night Live, Mad TV. It was one of the first sketch shows I quite loved. I loved Mad TV. They were very, very dark humor, very adult humor. And as a young boy, that's one of the shows I was allowed to stay up and watch once a week. Mm-hmm. Why would parents let the children at such a young age watch that one? Saturday Night Live, it's very questionable. But I think just doing comedy like that was very inspiring. And so, you know, when I went to secondary school, I sort of took over the talent show. which is much like the Hollywood cabarets we are doing today. Honestly, like it's come very full circle. And they were going to cancel the talent show. There was no one to run it. And I said, well, what I could do is I could hijack this. And do you mind if we just take over? And then me and my sister, Jennifer, one of my, Dandy has many sisters. But one of my very real sisters. She and I, we took over the high school's talent show, and we said, all right, we'll have a band, we'll have some of our singers, the singers can come and they can do what they like, we'll have a juggler, I hope, a stand-up comedian maybe, but we said, you know, we'll write skits to host the show. We had characters to you know, introduce the beginning, the ending, some acts, we had a little song, and then we just would either write our own, which was not a lot at the time, but we would just take the little VHS and tape off the sketch programs on the weekend, and then we would slowly go line by line and just transcribe the scripts from Mad TV and some Saturday Night Live, and we'd get our friends to do this, and we would put them up on stage for the talent show, and we sort of hijacked and had now like our own little live sketch comedy night, and we need to change funny costumes and makeup, so we would have a band play. But all of the, you know, our teachers were very into it, and we had a lot of support. We did that for a few years in high school. So that, I think that sort of broadened my experience. And then, you know, I studied acting. I was a very serious actor. You know, no time for stage directing or writing. No, I'm going to learn the
very method. Very method. Literally.
It's quite literal. Yeah. And so I did that, and I just, you know, comedy was part of it, but it's not very serious, darling.
I get that.
And so then when I left university, you know, what you get back into, especially here in Los Angeles, there's the Groundlings Theatre and UCB Theatre, the Upright Citizen Brigade, and Improv was here when they were around. And so this is just where you take classes and you would go and study. And I said, well, enough of this serious method, beat by beat scene study. Let's just be ridiculous. And and here we are.
Well, we both really enjoyed The Actor, Enemies of Dorothy, all the little videos that are out there are so the type of humour that me and Jossy really love. Like, I am forever making jokes about, like, being trans. You may not know just where you're from, of course. And we've grown up now, and boys can be girls and girls can be boys. Don't worry, it's not shock horror, Dan. I know. Hold your drink, yes.
It's the 21st century.
I love it.
So me and Jossy always, like, I'm definitely the garb, and I always come up with it. But from a comedy idea to putting it on paper, I think that is like one of the hardest processes ever. It's something I've never ever been able to ever even do. Yeah, I want to so much. I'm like, I want to be out there and I want to be telling jokes about, like, the funny things that I find funny about being transgender. And I like that it's not very PC, the LGBT scene where it's like, it's the names of people. I was like, that is so fucking funny. And also, you do music, but where do you get your musical inspirations from? Or is it just pulled from anywhere you see fit?
Truly, it's anywhere that we see fit, certainly. You know, I still... Dandy is a very beautiful singer. You see, I have perfect pitch, you see.
Oh,
very
good.
But beneath the makeup, I never consider myself a singer at all. And I think that's where putting on a face and a silly voice and just being ridiculous is the only way I could get up on stage and, like, very seriously sing. The Rocky Horror Hedwig bit, I was almost completely naked. So it was the opposite. It's, well, all right, well, I mean, if we're vulnerable, like, in our underwear, then we'll be vulnerable to sing. Why not? And I think, you know, the musical inspiration, where we draw it from is, I get handed a lot of stuff for it. You know, there's a beautiful song, you know, I think I'll sing one for you later. And it came from oh God, what's the name of it? I could do so love it. The Oscar Wilde film Rupert Everett played. It was supposed to be an awards movie. It was called Happy Prince. And
Jossy?
I haven't seen it.
Well, I'll say it was supposed to get a lot of buzz, and I quite liked it. It was right for me. And I was on the SAG nominating committee that year, and I'd only just joined the union. And so I was like, oh, the pick of the litter. So I got mailed extra screeners, and then I got to pick who got nominated. Then nominated for the awards. And so it was quite fun, and I came across this movie, and I thought, Oscar Wilde, Rupert Everett, yeah, oh yeah, love it, interesting. And then, but he stands up and he sings this song. It's called Boy in the Gallery, and you know, it was period specific, but just having him sing it made it so incredibly queer, because it's all about the boy that I love is up in the gallery, the boy that I love, and it's written for females thing. But like having him, you know, there's a dramatic scene where he stands up in the pub and he's pissed, and everyone gets mad, and there's a riot and a big fight because, you know, he's a homosexual, a homophile. Terrible. Terrible. But yes, I mean, and I saw that, and I thought this was before Dandy was born, and I thought, you know, I must save that for something. There's all the songs for this period, any period that are appropriate for Dandy. They're all licensed, you know, they're royalty free, and so I was like, put that one in the can.
Definitely. Well, I think it's really great how you're able to do everything you do over where you live, because there definitely isn't anything like that over here. Like, I would totally love to be able to express myself in different manners, like you guys are able to do. And some of your, like, the videos, as I've just mentioned, they were so on. Like, I was shocked that. So I'll explain. Views are when people with technological devices view something. Are you following me, Dandy? No?
Not a bit, but go on, darling.
Yes. So I was shocked that the views were not as high as they should be, because the quality was so good. And I just wanted to say that to you guys, especially yourself.
But I suppose then the trip should be the other way. You'll come to Hollywood, and that's the ticket.
We have a trip in mind once, obviously. Prison, of course.
But well, I can see you're both in prison, yeah.
Mine's the flower walls. Flower cell.
That's real, darling. Oh, I love it.
I've got so much time in my hands.
No, I'm glad you speak to Enemies of Dorothy. So there was a great Canadian sketch show, Baroness von Sketch Show.
Right.
Now, I don't know if you know that, but you might want to check that one out as well. Very lovely. Oh, hello, darling. Look at the pup.
I thought you'd seen somebody. I was like, where the hell are you?
That's Betsby. Yes, I was talking to Betsby. Betsby's our chambermaid. You may be off. We're still talking, darling. No, the trip's been cancelled.
Cancelled.
Another day. We're doing it now.
The Black Plague. The Black Plague.
It's the plague. Yes, and we know.
Yeah.
But so Baroness von Sketch Show is a comedy show centered around 4 women in the 40s.
Right.
And so, you know, it's just a sketch show, but like some of the sketches are 30 seconds of, you know, she's a germaphobe, which speaks a lot to the day now. And, but she's, you know, she won't touch the seat. She goes pee and she won't touch the door, and she opens it and then she moves along on the little piece. And it's just a quick, funny little thing. And then her friend gives her a weird look while they're washing hands once she leaves. And that's it. It's like, that's genius. That's about, you know, that's everything in the sketch show was about women in the 40s. And so I said, you know, why can't we do something like that, but queer, LGBT, something exactly. And obviously, you know, friends of Dorothy. I'm a friend of Dorothy.
I'm a friend of Dorothy.
Very good friend of Dorothy.
James, Louis, David. I'm a friend of them all. I'm a friend of them all. Do you, obviously, I get so many different, like, belly laughs from watching different shows and comedians, but did you ever come across or were able to see, like, things like Smack the Pony, Drop the Dead Donkey, Little Britain? Did you ever come across?
Of course. Well, absolutely fabulous. We cannot. This ridiculous voice is certainly born out of that. For the talent show I was talking of, like they were certainly the two. Patsy and Eddie were the two characters that we used to just rip off the Sweetie Darling.
Yeah,
So that's who hosted our talent show. I was playing one of them, and certainly that must have been the birth of what this has become. But yes, Little Britain is a brilliant show.
well, everything's so PC now, which really annoys me. And it's like, like
Well,
shut up, it's just funny.
I think where you were tapping into is why we call it Enemies of Dorothy, and we certainly get a lot of love from, say, log cabin Republicans, which is the gay Republicans. Wild. But gays for Trump. Whoa, that's and I say, sure, join in, help us with those views. And I think where it skirts that line of where we're not being PC, we're trying not to be too afraid. And I get true bisexuals to tell those stories and those sketches. We've got a few trans actors who will put in our sketches that all right, well, you'll play the trans roles and these are good, right? And they'll push it further. Be like, okay, all right, we can say whatever we want. Right?
Yeah.
From a good heart, and if you're offended, well, I find that pretty funny too.
Exactly. It's just self-deprecating humour. It's just self-deprecating humour. That I think there's nothing wrong with it. Like you were saying before, you get your inspiration from life. Life is hard, but you can just make it funny. It's how you can get through it.
Precisely, yes. It's I think the best comedians are the darkest.
Like, for instance, the other day, getting a bit personal, I had a scare about cancer. And I said to Jossy, because she was like, I'm so worried. And I went, but think of the views, the story we can follow. She said, are you fucking crazy? Why would you say that? And I was like, it's the truth. It's the God. I would literally milk it for all it's worth. It's the truth. And I just think a lot of people need to have a little bit more of that, that mindset of look at life like every glass half full kind of thing. And I think that's the best way to get on with life.
No, precisely. I think that absolutely. What can you do in times of sheer horror, but to find a way to laugh? And I think there's a big intersection. I didn't think we'd be talking about this. There's a big intersection of the queer community and the horror community. And there's certainly something I really love about horror is comedy horror. And so the Cabin in the Woods, we've got some very famous gory films that really cause this catharsis in you, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
And so I think, but there's that, the queerness, the other. I have a friend, I've appeared on his podcast. It's called Dead for Filth. And so it's lovely. And he interviews either queer icons, like I believe he had Elvira on, or not queer, but a queer icon, and but horror professionals who are in the LGBT spectrum, and there's such an intersection. I think that's so interesting, is how we take that it's this otherness, and so I think this weird, murky, dark world that's scary is very much the intersect. While Dandy is a drag queen character, it's a drag character for sure, but it's also, it's a scary clown. And there's
some people it would be seen as the kind of scary clown, but it really does bring us to one of the questions that we had of, is it an artistic expression, or is it drag? And as you just said, Dandy is drag.
But Dead for Filth. So because all of my ideas are unoriginal. But Liz, I love this. This is why I love the podcast, though. They had discussed at length, and it keeps coming up in episodes, how Freddy Krueger is a drag character. And so I think, and if you start to sort of dissect it like that, I think yes, and I think Dandy certainly is a drag character. I mean, Dandy is a cisgendered male, but a drag queen is certainly what I am as well. And so I think that is exactly that expression. It's the exaggerated, over the top. You know, what I do in the cabarets is, and what translates so beautifully to the stage is, it's immersive in a sense of I'm hosting the Lavender Society's meeting. And so I have my lavender pin, and I take tickets at the door, and they're all there to see, you know, the MM Productions cabaret, the Carnival cabaret, whatever. We did a horror cabaret, and I go, "Are you here for the secret meeting?" "Oh, good." Of course, they'll do anything you say once you got them live. And all right, perfect. Well, you get your pin. Or if they say no, I'm not. Well, then you don't want a free goddamn pin. Then fine. Your friends all want one, and then they're like, no, I'm here for the meeting. And then I get up on stage, and we open the show, and when it comes to my turn to start hosting, all right, now it's time for the secret meeting. And the Lavender Society is a secret society of homosexuals. And so if you're here, you're a homosexual. But then I get that. So what I do with this is I go into the audience, and I talk to people. It's essentially all crowd work. And we've got much is scripted, obviously, in Gigi's comedy. Or anything that the audience can say, we've got scripted lines to come back. And it's going to be hilarious. But the audience is usually either befuddled or they come up with some comedic genius thing on the spot. But we include them, and it feels like a drag show is what I'm building up to. It feels like, you know, you're at any bar in West Hollywood or the Village in Toronto, or what's it called there? You don't have a gay section. We have a gay scene. Yeah, we have a gay scene, but it's nothing like over your town or anything like that, because West Hollywood is a full city of queers. There are all rainbow.
There has been, well, there was in Newcastle for a very, very brief moment. There was a very alternative, artistic, sort of like drag, queer scene, but it was very, very, very short-lived. And I was lucky enough; I was a part of it, because I studied performance, and part of that was studying drag. So I was really fortunate to be there at that time. So it is something that could work. And it's just so fantastic to see that you are out there doing it and just showing that there's not just one way of doing drag, because drag is an art form, and you bring the art into drag.
Yes, and I think of it in the sense of the queens who singing queens. I mean, just take my money. Like, what is better than doing this? What you were mentioning earlier, Faye, is like it's just impressive to see queer people existing, and so to have a queer art form like drag, and then to see, I mean, of course, makeup is not a skill. It's not supposed to be dandy's skill, but I think makeup is a great skill. We see on Drag Race, right, and you see the artistry in it. But then you put in skills, you know, a queen who can juggle, or even doing the splits and the real dancing. But then you get a mic and she's singing. Oh, it's just, it's transcendent, you know.
Absolutely, I agree with that. I really, really do agree with that. And I think I love what you just said. You actually feel what you guys doing, and what you guys doing is on stage as a drag show. And I love that slowly but surely people are starting to open their eyes and understand drag is about expression in whatever fucking form it wants, whether it be dandy or Freddy Krueger. It's a form. Do you know what I mean? I just love that. I think that's really nice.
Of course, and I suppose what I was getting at as well was it's inclusive of pushing you, the audience, whether it's live or if it's in a horror film, but it's pushing you and making you be a part of this, and examine sort of where we all lie with the masks on our face and the wigs on our head, and who we really are, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I think in some respects, though, drag kind of harks back to that age of music hall, and where people would go and see live performance, because you can watch drag on the telly and it's great, but it is all about the live performance, and it's just keeping that tradition alive.
Yes. No, true. In uni, I wrote a paper on this as well. We did site-specific theatres, right?
Mhm.
Site-specific performances. And I argued, you know, a gay bar is a site-specific venue for a performance. It's a proper performance, you know.
Mhm.
There's a backstage, there's costumes, there's lights, there's an audience, and it's about immersing yourself in there. And I think that's what I always intend to do when I go on stage as this character. And I think it draws completely from that drag, the theater of drag. And so it's about, you know, including the folks there. I mean, when I was a young girl, I was not, and I was a cute young twink. I'm very old now, but
So was I, darling. So was I.
But you know, there was a good year there when I discovered gay bars and drag queens, and my life was forever changed. And then, of course, I loved Rocky Horror. I loved the films, Priscilla, Hedwig, change. I have the tattoo. You know, I think that's the only reason I got cast, because I can't sing. But I got cast in that show because of the tattoo. And, you know, so they meant a lot to me. But I would go to the bars, and I was the cute young twink that I couldn't go in front of a drag queen and not get called on. And I think it really shaped my idea of live performance and what it means to have an audience in front of you. And, you know, I think
take it by the hooves and ride it. I think that's what you've done. I think that's great. We have a quick fire round if you're open to take part before you end the show with.
I'm open, darling. I'm open.
Okay, let's get ready for our quick fire round. Are you ready, Dandy?
Ready, darling.
Well, does pineapple belong on pizza?
Yes.
Work hard or play hard?
Both, darling. And work can be play.
Can women have penises?
Yes, darling. I hope so.
Is coronavirus real or is it a conspiracy?
No, it's not. It's a conspiracy.
Do you like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches?
Look, what's that? Jelly sandwiches?
Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, yes or nay?
Yay!
Dogs or cats? Answer very carefully.
Cats. Sorry, darling. Darling, I just had mine stuffed.
Oh! Reese's or Hershey's? Hershey's.
Reese's or Hershey's? Reese's.
Absolutely. Pepsi or Coca-Cola?
Oh, raised on Pepsi, but prefer Coca-Cola.
Is the earth flat or round?
Is the year what?
Is the earth flat or round?
Have they discovered yet? Up for debate.
This is a very important question. Do you believe in life after love?
I believe in shame. Do you believe in life after love? Yeah, I believe in shit.
Well, we have had a blast with you today, and we are going to let you take it away and finish the show for us. Do you need time to get set up, or are you ready to go?
Darling, I'm a show professional. I just need moments of... All right, and I think I'm ready.
Okie dokie, well, take it away.
All right, thank you, darling. Will I see you again? You're not leaving?
No, we're not leaving. We're watching.
Okay.
We're judging.
Now, judge away, darlings, because I invited someone very special to me to watch this broadcast today. We met only recently on Grindr, and I am in love. It's a hard time, but he respects me, so I must say. I'm a young girl who's just come over from the country where we do things big. And amongst the boys, I've got a lover. And since I've got a lover, why I don't give a fig. For the boy I love, he's out in the gallery. The boy I love, well, he's texting pics to me. Oh, there he is, can't you see, commenting those hearts to me. And we are as merry as robins in quarantine. Now, the boy that I love, They call him a hustler, but he's not a hustler. Allow me to state. For Johnny is a tradesman who started an OnlyFans where he'll pump and peacock whilst viewers pay. But the boy I love, well, he only does solo vids. The boy I love, well, you see, now he's texting me. Oh, well, that's not a text, it's a notification. It seems he's engaged in collaboration with screen name Hung Daddy 33. Oh, the boy that I love. Well, he had a lot of money. And if I was a duchess, well, I would have some too. But I haven't got a penny, or he would be my only fan. And so I say, darlings, will my only fan be you? For the boys that I love, well, they're out in the gallery, and the girls that I love, they're in the gallery too. Here we are, stuck in this, hopefully not a Zoom meeting, and we'll be as merry as queers in quarantine.
Fantastic.
We're trying to find some niggas to throw at you. We're there.
I know, I haven't got any.
Please.
Oh,
I've got them right here. I've already put them on.
well, Dandy, that was an absolute treat, not just for everyone watching, but for us. It has been a pleasure for us to have you on our stage, and one day I'm sure we'll be able to be on your stage too. It's just been a pleasure.
Well, Jossy, Fay, my loves, can I say to you, I had an immensely wonderful time. This is all I want to do all day is talk about exactly this. And thank you so much. You're so gracious and lovely and beautiful. And yes, I think I've cancelled my trip. And now, hold on, I didn't pack this bag. So before I go, I want to see what my servant put in here. Because I was planning to stay there a while.
Of course, yeah, I know.
Oh. It's literally just a cucumber.
Right. Well, at least we can all use it. At least we can all
nail that over, please.
We'll use our imagination on what that bit of fun would have been like. But a good thing that we didn't pack too heavy since the trip was cancelled. And I hope the trip remains, but in the other way. Please come here to Hollywood and visit me.
We have a message from you from one of our viewers. You make me giggle and smile after feeling low. Thank you.
Oh, that's exactly what it's about. And then channel that into this immense laughter.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much. We will definitely keep in touch. And of course, check you guys out on YouTube because I cannot stop watching The Enemies of Dorothy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sweetheart. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Bye.
Well, guys, that was one hell of a show. I thoroughly enjoyed chatting to somebody who was completely different to our usual guest. It made a change, but was it a change? Because in the end, everything's drag, darling. Everything's drag. How did you find it, Jocelyn?
Oh, I really, really enjoyed it. I could have spoken for hours about the history of drag and about art and about musical and about authenticity.
That dog of yours is a scene stealer.
Oh my!
Guys, don't forget, please check Ryan Leslie out on Instagram, and there's so much links on his profile for his YouTube and all of his videos and his shows he does, and he has one tonight. I believe it's one tonight, which is so amazing. And like you guys, like obviously because I just do the chat show with Jossy, but comedy is something I'd love to totally step into, but on my terms, because I think like my life's so fucking funny sometimes that you could never believe what's happened to us. But we're gonna let you go and enjoy the rest of your evening because we can't wait to watch Coronation Street.
Yeah.
Share our post. It is now live on Facebook, YouTube, and of course Twitter. And don't forget to drop us a like on Instagram. But we love you. Stay safe, Jossy. I miss you so much. I hate not being around. Do you think he can nail that cucumber over? Sorry, cucumber on the
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm so sorry that happened.
Send it to my house.
Yes, well, we'll share it. And then just think, after, we can do our eye mask around the eye. And of course, eat it. Bloody marvellous. Well, guys, I've been Fay Louise.
And I've been Jossy Endel.
And we fucking love you. Have a great day. We'll see you. Oh, I'm back on Friday over on Instagram. Jossy's back next week. Is that right, darling?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, love you, Lord. Bye-bye.